Good morning, everyone. My name is Justin, and today I'll be presenting a marketing research proposal for Urban Grounds, which is a mid-sized independent coffee chain here in Singapore. The focus of this proposal is customer retention. Urban Grounds has seen growth in recent years, but competition in the coffee industry is incredibly tough, especially with international brands like Starbucks and Coffee Beans dominating the market. So the question is, how can a local chain like Urban Grounds not just attract new customers but more importantly keep them coming back consistently? That's what this research aims to address. To set the scene, the coffee industry in Singapore has become a big part of daily urban life. On one hand, you have the big international players with strong branding and resource. On the other hand, local and independent coffee shops have carved a niche by offering artisanal brews, sustainable practices, and unique experiences. Consumers here are becoming more selective. They're not just buying a cup of coffee, they're looking for quality, authenticity, and even alignment with their lifestyle values. But Urban Ground also faces serious challenges like high rental costs, a saturated F&B scene, and a fast-changing customer behaviors, especially in the digital space. For the management, this makes customer retention, not just customer acquisition, a top priority. The leadership team believes that the way forward is moving from a purely transactional model to a customer-centric strategy. Specifically, they want to know how do factors like price, service quality, loyalty programs, and brand perception really influence retention. Research objective and questions. From this business problem, I developed several research objectives. First, we want to quantify the impact of price, service quality, digital loyalty features, and brand perception on retention. Second, we want to identify priority customer segments and see how they differ in their motivation. And third, we want to provide actionable recommendation for loyalty design, service standard, and communication. To achieve this, I frame 5 research questions. How strongly does perceived price fairness or value relate to repeat purchase and visit frequency? In other words, do customers come back simply because the price feels fair? 2. How do different dimensions of service quality like responsiveness, assurance, empathy affect customer retention and net promoter score? 3. Which digital loyalty features such as earn and burn simplicity, personalized offers, gamification, or payment integration is the most strongly influence retention? 4. Does brand perception, including authenticity and sustainability, mediate the link between service quality and retention? 5. And finally, do different customer segments like commuters versus remote workers or app users versus non-app users show different retention drivers? This structured these questions give us a structured way to break down a very complex issue. Research approach. The research approach is I propose is a mixed phase design starting with exploratory work and then moving into descriptive and explanatory analysis. We start with exploratory qualitative research. This stage will help us uncover customer language, emotions, and hidden needs that survey alone might miss. For example, what really annoys them in store, what makes them feel valued. Once we capture that insight, we will design a larger scale quantitative study to measure those factors and test the relationship statistically. The reason I suggest this sequence is because customer retention is influenced by many interdependent variables. By starting with exploratory work, we reduce risk of missing important drivers, and by following with quantitative work, we ensure findings are generalizable to the wider customer base. Data collection method. In terms of data collection method, here's what I propose. For the qualitative stage, we'll conduct around 20 to 24 in-depth interviews, each lasting about 45 to 60 minutes. This will be spread across 6 to 8 urban grounds outlet plus a couple of online sessions. For digital-only customers, we'll also run mini diary tasks where participants document their coffee interaction over 3 to 5 days. This helps us capture context in in the moment things like what triggered their visit, how they felt during the experience, and whether anything annoyed or delighted them. Then for the quantitative stage, we launch an online and mobile survey with about 400 respondents. This will be recent customers who have made at least one purchase in the last 60 days. Recruitment will happen through multiple touch points, push notification on the app, QR receipt, and in-store intercepts. With a sample of 400, we have enough power to do regression and segmentation analysis with confidence. By combining these two methods, we get both depth and breadth. Depth through interviews and diaries, and breadth through surveys. Target population and sampling. The target population here is adults in Singapore aged 18 and above who have purchased from the urban grounds at least once in the last 60 days. We included both app users and non-app users as both groups may have different perspective on retention. For sampling, I propose stratified approach will stratify based on star clusters such as central business district, heartland locations. Will also consider time of day and digital engagement levels. With each stratum, we'll use systematic intercept sampling like approaching every six customer combined with random email or app invites. To ensure diversity, we'll set quotas by gender and age and monitor progress via dashboard. As an incentive, participants will receive a $5 urban ground voucher with an additional bonus for those completing diary tasks. Now let's address the compulsory Q&A component. The first question is, what are the two main disadvantages of the proposed method? The first disadvantage is time and cost. A mixed method study combining interviews, diaries, and surveys require significant resources compared to a single method approach. The second disadvantage is integration and challenges. Combining qualitative and quantitative findings can be complex because the data comes in very different forms. Aligning insight to tell one coherent story requires careful analysis and interpretation. The optional question I chose to answer is, what advice would I give if the management want to triple the sample size? Currently, the plan is 400 respondents. If we increase to 1,200, the benefit is higher precision and the ability to analyze smaller subgroups. However, the trade-off is cost and time. My advice would be only to increase the sample strategically, for example, oversample high-value customer group or specific segment like app non-user rather than tripling. So conclusion, to wrap up, this proposal provides urban grounds with a structured approach to understanding what truly drives customer retention. By combining qualitative depth with quantitative rigor, we'll be able to identify the most influential factors, whether the price fairness, service quality, digital loyalty features, or brand perception. From there, urban grounds can make evidence-based decisions about service, standard loyalty program, and communication strategies. Ultimately, the goal is to help urban grounds strengthen loyalty, increase repeat visits, and build sustainable competitive edge in Singapore crowded coffee. Thank you for your attention.